Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Overwatch video game. Overwatch is a team-based multiplayer online first-person shooter video game developed and published by Blizzard Entertainment. It was released in May 2016 for Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Overwatch assigns players into two teams of 6, with each player selecting one of 24 predefined characters, called heroes, each with unique movement, attributes, and abilities, whose roles are divided into 4 categories: offense, defense, tank, and support. Players on a team work together to secure and defend control points on a map, or escort a payload across the map in a limited amount of time. Players gain cosmetic rewards that do not affect gameplay, such as character skins and victory poses, as they play the game. The game was initially launched with casual play, with a competitive ranked mode, various arcade game modes, and a player-customizable server browser subsequently included following its release. Additionally, Blizzard has developed and added new characters, maps, and game modes post-release, while stating that all Overwatch updates will remain free, with the only additional cost to players being microtransactions to earn additional cosmetic rewards. Overwatch is Blizzard's 4th major franchise. It came about following the 2014 cancellation of the ambitious massively multiplayer online role-playing game Titan. A portion of the Titan team came up with the concept of Overwatch, based on the success of team-based first-person shooters like Team Fortress 2, and the growing popularity of multiplayer online battle arenas, creating a hero-based shooter that emphasized teamwork. Some elements of Overwatch borrow assets and concepts from the cancelled Titan project. After establishing the narrative of an optimistic near-future Earth setting after a global crisis, the developers aim to create a diverse cast of heroes that span genders and ethnicities as a part of this setting. Significant time was spent adjusting the balance of the characters, making sure that new players would still be able to have fun while skilled players would present each other with a challenge. Overwatch was unveiled at BlizzCon 2014 in a fully playable state and was in a closed beta from late 2015 through early 2016. An open beta in May 2016 drew in nearly 10 million players. The release of the game was promoted with short animated videos to introduce the game's narrative and each of the characters. Upon official release, Overwatch received universal acclaim from critics, who praised the game for its accessibility, diverse appeal of its hero characters, bright cartoonish art style, and enjoyable gameplay. Considered one of the best games released in 2016, the game received numerous accolades, including being awarded Game of the Year at the Game Awards, DICE Awards, and Game Developers' Choice Awards, as well as from numerous publications. Since its release, Overwatch has become recognized as an esport, with Blizzard helping to fund and produce professional leagues and other tournament events. Gameplay. Overwatch features squad-based combat with 2 opposing teams of 6 players each. Players choose one of several hero characters, each with their own unique abilities and role classes. The 4 character roles include offense characters with high speed and attack, but low defense characters meant to form choke points for enemies, support characters that provide buffs and debuffs for their allies and enemies respectively, and tank characters that have a large amount of armor and hit points to withstand enemy attacks and draw fire away from teammates. During the pre-match setup, players on a team will be given advice from the game if their team is unbalanced, such as if they're lacking defensive heroes, encouraging players to switch to other heroes pre-match and balance the starting team. Within a match, players can switch between characters in-game following deaths or by returning to their home base. The game is designed to encourage players to adapt to the opposing team during a match by switching to characters that better counter their abilities. Each hero has a primary attacker skill, and at least 2 additional skills that can be invoked at any time, some requiring a brief cooldown period before they can be used again. Furthermore, each player slowly builds up a meter towards their character's ultimate skill. This meter builds up over time, but can build up faster for defeating opponents or performing other beneficial tasks for their team, such as healing other team members. Once ready, the player can use this skill at any time, which may last for a few seconds, or be a single powerful action, after which they then must wait for the meter to fill up again. Opposing players will be alerted to the use of this ultimate ability by an exclamation from the character, often in the character's native language. For example, Gunslinger McCree will call out, "It's high noon," as the player engages the ultimate ability to target multiple visible enemies and deal lethal damage to those still in sight. This gives opposing players a brief moment to try to take cover or respond appropriately. A second meter tracks how many in-round points a player has scored over time, which are rewarded for killing or assisting in killing, providing team defense or healing, and scoring objective points. When a certain threshold is reached, the player character's icon will be on fire, representing that the character is a threat, but otherwise does not directly affect gameplay. This meter will slowly drop if the player does not continue to score points. Overwatch employs an automated instant replay system, designed to highlight important moments of the game. After the game's end, the server selects a fragment of the match which had a large impact on the game's progression, such as a rapid succession of kills or an effective use of team healing, and then broadcasts it to all players from the point of view of the player responsible for it. This is called a play of the game, or play of the match, in competitive games that have longer matches. Afterwards, a result screen is shown, highlighting up to 4 individual players from both teams for their achievements during the match, and all players are given the option to commend one of them. Players gain experience points following a match towards a metagame level based on several factors, such as whether they won or lost, how effectively they used their character's powers, being awarded gold, silver, or bronze medals for their team across 6 categories, such as most time spent on the objectives, and beating past personal records in these categories. Initially, experience was only awarded when playing the game's matchmaking modes and not custom games. But the custom server browser update, released in February 2017, enabled experience gains for custom games. On gaining an experience level, the player can earn a loot box, each which contains 4 random cosmetic items for individual heroes, including victory poses, paint sprays, alternate skins, emotes and voice lines. Such items are given out based on the rarity level, with the qualities common, epic, and legendary. They may also earn in-game currency called credits, which can be used to purchase specific cosmetic items directly, with their cost based on the item's rarity. Other items can only be acquired by completing in-game achievements. Duplicate items are rewarded with in-game currency. Players also have the option to buy loot boxes with real-world money through microtransactions. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.